everybody because it's not technically cool. Great. Yeah, we need everybody feeling tall, and you know you're not gonna block anybody. Get up front. Let's say that nice. So if you're really tall, like this one young lady in the glasses, come up here.
Oh, the other tall.
Yes, all young, all tall. Let's get on up here, okay?
All right.
So, all right.
Deborah.
Somebody. Mustafa.
Ended up in New Jersey
Mustafa.
yesterday. She went there to try to get out last night. Detroit was having such storms they canceled, so she went back to Atlanta and then she went fly back up here. So she'll be in sometime today.
Okay.
Hopefully she might make it this morning, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Kayla. Where's Kaylana? Right here.
Come on, little baby. She's too short. Come on.
Will you take a picture for me?
Hey. On the hill at Triangle. Getting ready to start in 5 minutes. Congresswoman we have to start on time. We'll be here till 10:45.
You want to get down. Occasion. Okay.
Okay, we'll just come straight on. We'll be here till 10:45. Okay. Huh?
Take a picture for you.
At the Triangle on the house side. So tell them to come to the top of the hill across from, just tell them you're going to the Triangle on the house side. That's the outside, right at the top of the hill. Yeah, on the house side. Okay. Well, let's see what states are here.
Michigan!
Georgia! Let me do it this way. Let me call your state.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna go by alpha, right? So let's see. Ohio. Mississippi. Michigan. Florida. Georgia. Pennsylvania. Who I left out? Alabama. Oh my God. Alabama. Well, North Carolina. Have I left anybody out? South Carolina. Oh yeah, we can't leave out South Carolina. Them dry bones rose again in South Carolina. Yes. Jersey. New York.
Oh well.
They coming. I know they coming. They on the train. Okay, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, metro area. Woohoo! I represent. Okay. And we got some people who didn't. Kenya in the house?
Kenya.
Kenya? Oh, Maryland over there. Maryland, we got one Maryland. Out of our Kenyan sister?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia here? They here? They here yet?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I hear. Where they at?
Ethiopia, down there.
Is that Ethiopia?
Ethiopia, where are you?
Yeah. Maybe they not. Okay. Okay. They're not responding. Okay. So let me see if Karen know we ready. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So what are we here for, ladies? What are we here for, ladies? What are we also here for, ladies?
Power shift.
What's the power shift? All right, so what are we here for? We're here to what? Protect our what?
Democracy.
Protect our what?
Families.
Protect our what?
The safety net.
Yes. So let's start this again. What are we here for? To protect our what?
Democracy.
What are we here for? To protect our what?
Families.
What are we here to protect?
Safety net.
And what's the safety net?
Medicaid.
Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and also what else? SNAP.
SNAP.
Right? Paid family leave for all. Right? Protect our democracy. What are we here for?
End voter suppression.
Yes. What else? Protect our democracy. What else? Voting rights, right?
Yes.
Right? Immigration rights, right?
Yes.
Justice. What are we here for? Justice. Reproductive rights. What else we here for?
HBCUs.
Affordable housing. HBCUs. What else, ladies? Environmental justice. What else? Get up here. Get up here. And well, we ain't here to do that today. We're going to do that tonight. We're going to tell you all our secrets. Paid leave for all.
Yeah.
What else we here for?
Living wages.
Living wages. Hey there. What was that? Equal pay.
Yes.
What else?
Social Security.
Social Security. What else? Access to health care. What else, ladies? Affordable. Something. I didn't hear the rest. Affordable health care. We protect protect Obamacare. Make it better.
Stop the predatory lending of student loans.
All right. Got that. What else? Racial justice. Reproductive justice.
Climate change.
What else? What rights are we want to make sure they protect? What rights do we want to protect? Voting rights. What else? What rights we want to protect? What was that? Voting rights? Right? LGBTQ rights?
Immigrant rights.
Immigrant rights? Just being black in America, right?
Yes.
Being a black woman in America, right?
Yes.
All right, then I think we're ready for the Congresswoman. Now that was not official. That was just our warm up. Oh, I didn't see you here. How long you can start. Okay. All right. You have to get started because I'm not. So I'm going to introduce Congresswoman Yvette Clarke from the great big state, city, bad place of Brooklyn, New York, who is also co-chair of the Black Women's and Girls Caucus. Say it again. She's the co-chair of the Black Women and Girls Caucus. They taking care of us over here, so we're going to do our part. We're going to walk these halls today and let them know we're here, right? And we demand that they get that things out of the graveyard on the Senate side, because the House is taking care of business.
Let me say good morning.
Good morning.
The sisters have arrived on Capitol Hill, and I'm so happy. I'm Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke of the 9th District of New York. That is Central and South Brooklyn. I want to thank the Black Women's Roundtable and my dear friend and my soror, Melanie Campbell, for your commitment to uplifting black women and girls across this nation. As one of the co-chairs of the Black Women and Girls Caucus of the House of Representatives and the only black woman in the New York congressional delegation, nothing is more empowering than seeing black women who look like me fight for justice, fairness, and equity, and for the issues and policies that impact our communities across this nation. You all are serving as positive agents of change for our communities, from fighting for equality in the workplace, to voting rights, to fighting for sensible gun laws, to urging Congress to pass the Green New Deal and Medicare for all. This year, we celebrate the centennial of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. We know it was a little bit delayed for us, sisters, but we are in the fight today. In the same spirit, we must celebrate our brave ancestors who sacrificed their lives to ensure that the black community was not left behind when it came to the right to vote. The right to vote is our power, and that must not be taken for granted. The ratification of the 19th Amendment was critical in securing the American women's opportunity to exercise their full rights as citizens, from voting rights to health care, to social justice, to domestic violence, and more. Black women have always fought to ensure that the sisters who look like us aren't left behind. Our vote and our voices matter. Our efforts must continue today as we work to enforce paid family leave as a right for the labor force, to create opportunities for black women of all ages in business and entrepreneurship and government, and to protect our reproductive rights. Now more than ever, black women are dying of pregnancy-related complications than any other developed nation in the world. We must acknowledge that the social influences that voting has on our health, on our economic stability, on poverty, on unemployment, on limited education, and representation that continue to anchor women from reaching our ultimate potential. As the co-chair of the Congressional Black Women and Girls Caucus, I work to ensure that more legislation, more representation, and more action is taken to create a better world for black women and their families in America. Between the 19th and 20th centuries, black women strived for universal suffrage. The black women that came before us would not attend political conventions at their local, would attend political conventions at their local churches to strategize on how to gain the right to vote. Though the 15th Amendment granted slaves the right to vote, it conveniently excluded black women. It wasn't until 50 years later for the ratification of the 19th Amendment, which was critical in securing the full blessing of American life and citizenship for women. This amendment was a huge step in the right direction, but there are still millions of black American women whose right to vote is constantly under assault by state legislatures. From Jim Crow laws to voter identification requirements, early voting restrictions, and the removal of eligible voters from registration lists, black women's voting rights are constantly violated and revoked. It is also important to remember the contributions of black women in the fabric of this nation. The Honorable Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman to be elected to Congress, my predecessor and fellow Caribbean sister, was a trailblazer. She broke the glass ceiling and paved roads for black women in politics. Many black female activists and politicians have devoted themselves to making our government a place where the concerns, questions, and voter ideologies of black women will count. Young people in our community are serving as positive agents of change in our community, from fighting for sensible gun laws to urging Congress to pass the Green New Deal. Now more than ever, It is critical that our young people, our first-time voters, make their voices heard. New York has taken great strides to preserve the precious right to vote and to ensure communities of color are not left behind. Through the governor's conditional voting pardon that was issued in an executive order in 2018, New York State residents that were formerly incarcerated and or currently paroled are now able to fully exercise the right to vote for the first time in history. We need to make that universal across this nation. If the formerly incarcerated have served their time, why should we limit their right to vote and their citizenship in this country? This impacts our communities at disproportionate rates. So our community voices must be heard, and we cannot stop until we have universal voting rights for all of our people.
All right. Woo, woo, woo.
As Americans, we must push for criminal justice reform, just as generations before us has taught us. We stand strong to reaffirm our commitment to voting rights and to protect what our founding fathers created when they birthed the vision of our democracy. My vision of our democracy is one that is inclusive and supports and elevates the voices of Black women. The American voice is meaningless if it doesn't represent the diverse experiences of the country that we all hold dear and that we love. Thank you all for coming together this afternoon, for doing the work that needs to be done by visiting our legislators. Go get them in the Senate. Go get them. Go get them. Because indeed, our futures rely on them doing their job. Thank you for coming together this morning and for all the work that you do to make our nation better, greater, stronger each and every day. I look forward to building together in the spirit of the change makers and our civil rights icons that came before us. Thank you all so very much for being here today. The cavalry has arrived. We can't stop and we won't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop till we get the victory.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Karen Bass. I'm a proud member of Congress, and more than anything, I am so proud to stand here with all of my sisters who are here today fighting on our behalf. And in 2020, no one can deny the role of the Black woman in this country. Am I right? Because we are at the forefront of change. We always have been. The only thing that is new is that no one can deny it now. And we are going to continue to be at the forefront of change until we get rid of who? 45. We are going to continue to do that because we need to change our country. Let me just say, I want to just thank Melanie Campbell for her leadership of the Roundtable. A few weeks ago in the Congressional Black Caucus, we had a summit, and we could have not had that summit if it was not for the partnership with everyone here. Your role here is so important to advocate, to talk about the issues, to go and speak to the legislators, speak to the members of Congress from both parties in both houses, because the only way you really know what's going on is when you hear it directly from the people who are most affected. So this year, 2020, I believe is the most important year that we are going to experience for the next couple of generations. And I see the young women that are here. And I am so proud because I believe that in order to bring about the change that we need in our community, we need to have leaders of every generation. Folks in my generation are looking to you to carry the torch on. And we have got to make sure that this year we do the right thing. We do the right thing with the census. The census coming up. Over 800,000 African Americans were not counted 10 years ago. We have to make sure that they are counted this time. We have an election coming up in every area. We have to make sure that we go out and vote, because when we vote, we make a difference. Sometimes people feel like, well, my vote doesn't really count. We know there's going to be specific campaigns to discourage African Americans from voting. We have to be aware of that, especially on social media and especially with our younger folks. We have to understand that if people tell you the elections don't matter, that voting doesn't matter, that you know that that means you need to vote in every single election. So I just want to thank you all for being here today. I want to congratulate you for your leadership, and I just want you to know how important it is, because we can't do the work in Congress. We cannot do the work in Congress without your support, without your advocacy, and without your voice. So you have a tremendous leader.
Yeah.
Very glad she's here. We're going to make it happen. Thank you very much.
Before you walk away, for all the young people, because she came up and just got right to motivating us, we have to make sure you know who this is.
Yes.
This is Congresswoman Bass from the great big old state of California. She holds the Congressional Black Caucus gavel. She is the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. So let's give her. Thank her. She is our host. We thank you so very much, Congresswoman.
Absolutely.
Calling us anytime. We're going to be calling on you. We're going to get this done.
She knows she can call on me 24/7. I'm here to serve.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So what are we here to protect? Our what?
Democracy.
What else are we here to protect? Protect our what? Safety net. So what's the democracy? What are we here to protect?
Voting rights.
What else?
Security.
What else?
Medicaid.
All right. Let's move right along. Thank you. So we're going to start with protecting our democracy, and we're going to ask our sister Helen Butler, who is the convener of the Georgia Black Women's Roundtable and also executive director of the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, to come up and tell us why we need to worry about a certain educate. We're not here to lobby, we're educating. Let's say educating.
Educate.
Okay, educating.
Educate.
Our elected officials about what we need them to be paying close attention to. Helen Butler.
Black Women Roundtable, are you in the house? Good morning, you all. Good morning. I am so happy to be a part of the Georgia Black Women's Roundtable.
Yes.
And the National Black Women's Roundtable. But we're here to say to our Congress people, we need H.R. 4 to be passed. We need that to protect our voting rights. The Senate needs to act right now.
Say yes.
Yes to H.R. 4.
Yes.
After the gutting of the 1965 Voting Rights Act in Section 5, Georgia alone has had 218 polling location changes. We've had voter challenges. We've had people with an exact match being thrown off the rolls. And most recently, we had 309,000 people purged just because they decided they didn't want to vote in an election. We can't have these voter suppression techniques. That's why H.R. 4, we must say must be what? Passed.
H.R. 4
Must pass. We've got to have it passed. Senator Perdue, Senator Loeffler from Georgia, we're calling you out. You need to pass H.R. 4 right now and protect our voting rights. As Dr. Lowry says, voting is a sacred right and a moral obligation.
Thank you, Helen. So what are we here to protect? What are we here to protect? Our voting rights. Thank you.
HR4! 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 HR4!
And so now, it's my great pleasure and y'all already know my sister, but I'm gonna still give her props. And now we're here also to protect our families, right?
Yes.
So one of those key things the Black Women's Roundtable is proud to be a part of, in coalition with Family Values at Work and many others, is to make sure that we get a universal bill, educate them on the importance of that bill moving from the House to the Senate to the whichever president ends up being there. So it is my pleasure to introduce you all to Carol Joyner, Director, Labor Project for Work and Family Values at Work. Also an active member of Black Women's Roundtable policy. She's always behind the scenes helping us pull this thing together. So Carol, tell us what we need to do.
Carol! Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right, thank you, first of all, Melanie Campbell, for once again bringing us together, the BWR, to think together, to plan together, to act together, and to fight together. Because we know, and we've always known, that when we fight, we win.
Yes.
When we fight, we
Win.
When we fight,
We win.
when we fight,
We win.
all right, so every year you know that I come to this podium and I speak about the need to enact comprehensive paid leave. I'm talking about the longer term days, meaning paid family and medical leave, care for yourself, care for a sick family member, or care to welcome a new baby, time to welcome a new baby with pay, right? Every year I come to this podium, I talk about the need for paid sick days because 1 in 3 low-paid workers do not have access to paid sick days in this country. And almost a third of the entire nation has no access to paid sick days. This is a critical issue regardless of the crisis we're in. It's for the health of our families and for the continuation of our communities. However, this year I stand at the podium in the middle of an immense crisis that COVID-19 stands to threaten our nation, and a key threat to us is that we lack the infrastructure of paid time to care. When the CDC tells us, stay home if you feel sick, stay home if you feel like you have been exposed, it is impossible to do that if you lack paid sick days. It is impossible to stay home for the 14 days required in order to isolate or quarantine yourself if you don't have extended leave like paid family leave. And so I am asking the Congress in this moment, and BWR stands behind me in this request, that you pass emergency policy to cover all workers so that they can stay home and care for themselves, make sure that they don't continue to infect the public, and care for their family members. And that we have a measure that allows people expanded health care so they can at least get tested without spending a fortune and get the medication that they need. Right now, we need Congress to take control of this issue and take the crucial steps. We need the long-term goal of passing the Healthy Families Act, which is our paid sick days law, and passing the Family and Medical Leave Insurance Act, better known as the Family Act. Passage of these two bills will make sure that we don't have an emergency like this that we are not ready for. We are not ready in this moment. It means passage. Passage means that we will be able to know in a situation like this that we are prepared going into the future. So BWR is a partner in our national campaign to pass these policies. It's called #Paid Leave for All, #Paid Leave for All. Visit that site, join us, follow us on Twitter, and make sure that the United States is never again caught in this situation of not being prepared to care for ourselves in a moment of crisis like this. Thank you so much.
Right. Pay leave for all. Paid leave for all. Paid leave for all. Paid leave for all. Hey, okay. Yes. Now, one of the overarching components of the Black Women's Roundtable, and I don't even know if I've introduced myself. I've been talking. I'm Melanie Campbell, 20 minutes in. The president and CEO of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation and convener of the Black Women's Roundtable that I am so honored to continue to serve as your convener. So one of the key things that we're also here to deal with is issues around justice, right? So we know how that's impacted us. So what I'd like to have come up, and that's going to be our sister Tamika Mallory, who many of y'all know her from when she was Executive Director of National Action Network, co-chair of the Women's March, and now she started an organization, Until Freedom, that she is the co-founder of, Continue to Fight for Justice. So Tamika Mallory, now we officially have a New York delegation member here.
Yes. What's up, ladies?
Yes!
Uh-oh, no one is still standing. Black Women's Roundtable. I'm so excited to be here with you all today. You know, as I was coming here, I was getting really excited that even though we're in some dark times, that this organization, this network led by Melanie Campbell always has an agenda. Yes. Always has an agenda. In season, out of season, whoever's running for president, election season or not, Black Women's Roundtable has an agenda and a place for women to go to fight for ourselves. Because we know that no matter what we do, no matter who we elect, we're still going to be engaged in a lifelong fight for justice and equity for our people. And so I felt really good coming here today knowing that some great women from across the country would be getting together. I traveled here, arriving in New York City last night at almost 2 o'clock in the morning from Jackson, Mississippi, and then getting up this morning at 5 o'clock, coming here to Washington, D.C., because of the commitment that I have to Black people and to our communities. I've been in Jackson collaborating with many groups and specifically supporting the Mississippi Prison Reform Coalition around what is happening there in Parchman Prison. My organization, Until Freedom, has, as I said, been collaborating with Rock Nation, which is Jay-Z's organization, and supporting the Mississippi Prison Reform Coalition in their efforts that have been going on for many years to deal with the human rights crisis there at Parchman Prison. Over 20 people have died in just a 2-month period inside of Parchman Prison. Over 20 prisoners have died because of inhumane conditions. No matter what they tried to tell you about gangs and other activities happening inside of the prison, what we know is that if you put people and lock them into cages and treat them like animals, they will respond as such. And so every death that has happened, whether it is a suicide or a homicide, is on the hands of the government there in Mississippi. All right. The history of Parchman is very important in this conversation. In 180 years, 180 years of our people being in bondage there, because Parchman Prison, when it closed down as a slave plantation, it opened up as a prison. So they have had Black bodies there, oppressed on that land, 28 square miles. 28 square miles. This is a large place. When we travel to Parchman, you can't even see the buildings where the prisoners actually are being held, because it is like literally a major campus of people who are locked up there. Well, some people want to know, because this is a male prison, it used to be a women's prison, but it has now since been closed down, and people want to know, why should I be coming here to speak to you all about a male prison? Why should we care? Well, we care about our brothers, don't we? Our brothers matter to us. Our fathers matter. Our sons matter. Our family matters. The Black woman and Black household needs we need our men to be strong and to be safe. Now, the thing that's important, and I have a few seconds and I'm going to close this, when people say, well, how can we help? The response that the outgoing governor gave, Governor Bryant, when asked why are these deaths occurring, the response was it was gang activity and because of cell phones. I don't know how gangs and cell phones make paint fall off the wall, rats running around, holes, no good food. That has nothing to do with it. But as a result, they are working to pass laws. So the first one, well, the law that has all of these different very dangerous things embedded in it is HB 94, HB 994, HB 994. It is a gang bill that will allow them to see a few people, this is inside and outside of prison, together and decide to classify people hanging out together as a gang. So they can put people in prison. But if you are specifically inside of prison and are found to be classified as being in a gang, they can add multiple years to your sentence. If you are found with a cell phone, you can receive, and it has already happened to multiple individuals, 10 to 15 years added on to your sentence. We need a broad coalition to help fight what is happening there in Parchment. Dr. King once said that he did not just want to be known for helping people out here in the world, for his Nobel Peace Prizes, for all the great speeches and marches, but that he wanted people to know that he visited folks locked up, and that he focused on those who were in chains and bondage in this country. We have a responsibility to care about our brothers and sisters inside and outside of the walls. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want policy-wise? Prison what?
Reform.
Yes. Thank you. I'm going to ask in this order, Trudy Lucas, who is the director of the faith, I'm blanking. Religious affairs, and also strategic alliances and partnerships with the National Action Network, who fights every day with Reverend Al Sharpton to come up. Following her, I would like to have, and we're still on justice. We all right? We ready on justice? And then we'll hear from Janice Mathis, who is the executive director of the National Council of Negro Women. And I think we have Dr. Stephanie Myers here with the Black Women for Positive Change, who's going to talk about violence in that order. And then we'll have one more group. And then we want to hear quickly from our state leaders that are still left here today. Okay.
Good morning. No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
Bringing you greetings from Reverend Al Sharpton, who is the president and founder of the National Action Network. Also from our Washington Bureau, from our phenomenal bureau chief, Ebony Riley. I'd just like to add that I want to also represent South Carolina.
Yes.
Whoa! I don't know if you all know, but we pushed it. We did it.
Yes.
South Carolina did it. And we are so glad that we are part of that coalition that brought together those 300 ministers that morning in South Carolina before the primary. It helped to change and to catapult what we know is going to happen in November of 2020. So a shout out to my sisters in South Carolina. Just want to give you these greetings from our Washington Bureau. Ebony Riley, who was unable to attend, so she asked me to share this with you. She said, greetings from the National Action Network. We stand in solidarity with National Coalition of Black Participation and the Black Women's Roundtable that is led by the phenomenal Melanie Campbell. We thank her for our leadership. Everyone say, we hold the power. Say it with me. Again, we hold the power.
We hold the power.
And when we do, we change systems. It is easy to get depressed by the state of our democracy, but we are the straw that will break suppressive politics harming our communities, and we are the key to increasing voter turnout in 2020. This year, we will continue to ignore negative messages and reiterate that we will not reclaim our democracy, but vote out those who seek to continue to harm our families. The Black Women's Roundtable Summit taking place this next few days is the fuel we need to use and move a justice agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we hold the power.
We hold the power.
We hold the power.
We hold the power.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trudy. I'm gonna do something. I work for somebody, believe it or not. So I got several board members that I'm gonna ask to come up at the same time for the National Coalition. I know people think that the Black Women's Roundtable funds me. Nope. The National Coalition on Black Civic Participation pays my bills and lets me do this. So all of the board members that are here, I'm gonna ask you to come up. I think I see Dr. Elsie Scott, Felicia Davis, Latasha Brown. Have I left anybody out? Board members, come up together and then give us your and then Janice Mathis and Dr. Myers following them, and then the leaders of the that haven't spoken that are conveners to come up together. Yeah. No, I won't say that. No, I want you to say anything. Just stand up and say hey. Oh, okay. No, just say hey. Say what you want to say about it.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation, we are pleased to be gathered here today to bring our Black Women's Roundtable together from across the nation, from the D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Ohio, come on, y'all help me, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, and the mighty Alabama.
Yes!
So we are gathered here to push forward an agenda that ensures that all Black people are counted and that turn out and vote. And we think we have begun to exercise that power we spoke of. But I'm not going to be the only one to speak because there's a louder voice behind me, a quiet one that's powerful. So I'm going to step back, let Latasha Brown come to the forefront, and then Dr. Elsie Scott.
Woohoo! Tasha!
How y'all doing?
All right.
Black women, we get it done, right?
Yes.
Black women, we get the work done.
Yes.
And so we are standing here with a Black women's agenda, and at the top of our agenda, it is ending voter suppression. When you look at what happened just this Tuesday, where you got Black folks in line in Texas for 7 hours, that is unacceptable. In the wealthiest country in the world, is unacceptable. But we thank you. We are fighting. We know that when we stand together, what we do, we win.
All right. You can go say Black voters matter.
Good morning, everybody. I am Elsie Scott, a member of the board, and I want to thank everybody who's traveled here to be with us, because with the group, we have unity. With unity, we have strength. And with strength, we can make a difference in this country. This is 2020. Let's go. Let's be counted with the census, and let's get out and vote. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Okay, we're going to say Black voters matter. Voters matter. Black voters matter.
Black voters matter.
Black voters matter. This is our co-founder for Black Voters Matter. We thank you for all you're doing to get that vote out and the Black is Bus in America. Next we will hear from Janice Mathis. I think she went over. And Dr. Myers, if y'all will come up together. And y'all know how this gets. We have to be off of this thing at 10:45. So the next thing I'm going to ask is for the conveners. Yeah, they're serious about that. So we'll have all of our state conveners to come up together and quickly make your remarks. Is that all right? And if I miss somebody, just know it wasn't. I didn't mean to. Oh yeah, you come with the conveners. So we good. Give me with the conveners. Go ahead, ladies. Tell us what you want us to do.
Good morning, sisters.
I know you got snacks.
You know, everybody said what a phenomenal leader Melanie is, and I can certainly testify to that. I'm here on behalf of the 85-year-old African-American organization, National Council of Negro Women. Our headquarters is down the street, almost 2 million members. But what I know about Melanie is this: she puts her energy and her time where her agenda is. I was in this building with her when she welcomed Doug Jones to the Senate. Nobody was more responsible for getting Doug Jones elected out of Alabama than Melanie Campbell.
No, it was these people right here.
Well, she won't take credit for it, because that's what good leaders do.
No. Yeah.
and as she marched down from Washington, D.C. into Virginia, into South Carolina, into Alabama, it was almost like an army marching to the sea. She changed the trajectory of this nation, and history will tell that fact. There are a lot of bills up there. My number one target is Mitch McConnell out of Kentucky. There's a viable,
Come on.
there is a viable candidate opposing him in Kentucky. There are bills. Well, I didn't say nothing about his party. I just said that. Okay, I'll be good now.
Thank you.
I'll be good. But there are bills that have been passed by the House of Representatives that cannot get a hearing in the Senate. And they include bills like H.R. 1 and H.R. 4 that would reform voting rights. Much of our agenda has already been passed by half of these folks. And so today we need to tell the other half we expect them to step up to the plate. I am delighted to be here. Congratulations. And thank you all for turning out.
Thank you.
And thanks to all my Georgia sisters who are here.
Yeah, Georgia in the house. Dr. Clarke.
Hello, I'm representing Black Women for Positive Change. We're a sister organization with Black Women's Roundtable. And this morning I'm here to talk with you as a sister, a mother, a daughter, about stopping the violence. We must stop the violence.
That's right.
We must stop the violence.
Yes.
And when you see the Congress members today, ask them to sponsor H.R. 2457. This is the National De-Escalation of Violence and Community Safety Training Act. Congresswoman Gwen Moore, sister from Wisconsin, introduced this bill in May. And we are determined to get de-escalation out to this nation to train people how to stop violence before it starts. They must learn to hesitate and de-escalate before they pull that trigger. And that's what this bill is. If it passes, there will be $500 million to go around the country to train faith leaders, educators, health professionals, civic leaders in how to help young people learn how to calm down, how to back off of that anger, how to get out of that fight, how to stop that verbal violence. H.R. 2457 is the name of the bill. De-escalation of violence. We want 100 sponsors, and we appreciate you asking the Congress people, sponsor H.R. 2457. I have flyers with me if you want more information. Thank you, Melanie. This is a fabulous organization, and let's stop the violence.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Myers. Okay, so I'm going to ask the Black Women's Roundtable conveners to come up that are here, and because we have and our Black Youth Vote coordinators that are in town, they got to come up and just say a couple words about what we need to protect, what we need to protect, what we need to protect, what we need to fight for. We're getting ready to leave this grounds, and some are already gone, to go have a conversation with our congressional members, especially these senators on this other side of the aisle. And even if you don't have no appointment, this is your house and my house. These are our tax dollars. It's not theirs.
Come on.
So we're going to go see if we can see Senator McConnell today. Anybody want to go with me? Roll with me. Right? And say, get that, unloose that graveyard of all those bills that have been passed from the House so that you can take care of the people's business. People didn't send you there here to just play partisan games. We pay you.
That's right.
You do not pay us. So do your job. So Alabama in the house, come on up. Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Alabama. I said Alabama. You did. All right. So Ohio, come on up. And y'all tell us why we're here. So bring your youth person.
When you count Alabama out, we show out. When you count Alabama out, we show out. Black women have built the state of Alabama. We have showed you. Black Women Roundtable is set up in 40 counties out of 67 counties in that state. We will show out every opportunity we get. Tuesday, we showed out. They knew it back in 2017. They knew it. They created a House Bill 378. When they seen our numbers was coming up, more people was voting, more women was bringing their families out to vote. They created a bill. That bill stopped over 400,000 people that was purged from the voters list from the state of Alabama. It is hurting us. It was so many people Tuesday that couldn't vote because they went back far as 1950. If you stole something that was worth $25, that means it was a felon back then. Now it's nothing. But they went back and they purged every person. They are not finished yet. Purge these people from the voters' rosters. We have to restore our voters' rights.
That's right.
We need to do it. We need to stand up. Black women, we can do it if we work together.
Thank you. All right. Letitia Daniels Jackson. Okay, ladies, y'all got 30 seconds each. Okay.
Letitia Daniels Jackson, I'm the South Alabama convener. Letitia Daniels Jackson, I'm the South Alabama convener for the Black Women's Roundtable, working hand in hand with Commissioner Sheila Jackson, and we will do it in Alabama. Keep your eyes on Alabama because we mean business.
Yeah. Okay. Black Youth Vote Coordinator. Introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Stacy Foster. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm over Black Youth Vote, and I agree with everything that was spoken by Commissioner and Ms. Letitia Jackson. And also, I'm asking that if you all could help us, go to GoSaveNate.com. He's set to be executed today by our Governor Kay Ivey. I'm asking if you go to GoSaveNate.com and sign the letter and call Kay Ivey, our governor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Alabama. Who's up? Who's up? Pennsylvania? And then Ohio, right here. Pennsylvania. Reverend Dr. Judith Seymour, convener of the Pittsburgh Mon Valley Black Women's Roundtable. Sisters saving ourselves now.
Amen. Right now, Pittsburgh Mon Valley, we're saying how can Pittsburgh be the most livable city but not be livable for black women? And so black women, we are not going to sit down. We're not going to turn around. Our vote matters, and we can show you better than we can tell you. It's on.
It's on.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Pennsylvania in the house. Ohio.
Good morning,
Petey
my
Tyler,
sisters.
Angela, where's Petey Tyler?
They probably went.
Okay,
We have our first
That's
meeting
right.
at 11 o'clock.
All right, go.
We're going to pound on Congressman Joyce about voter protection.
Yes.
Because as all of you, we face huge purges in Ohio, and they keep saying, so goes Ohio, so goes the nation. They purged 267,000 voters and then permanently purged 194,000 people in the state of Ohio. So that's how serious protecting our right to vote and making sure they don't move the precincts like they always do when we face this type of big election year. So please urge your Congress and Senate people, make the Voter Rights Act permanent. Stop revisiting it every 10 years. Make it permanent. That's why we're here.
Thank you. Michigan and then Florida. Mississippi.
Hi, my name is Tamika Ramsey. I'm the convener for Black Women's Roundtable Metro Detroit, and unfortunately our home is the state of Betsy DeVos. Most of y'all have seen and dealt with the crimes that she has been doing about our black and brown children, but we are fighting to end that. We are working really hard to make sure that our education system in Michigan is equitable and making sure that children, no matter what zip code they live in, have the access to proper education. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Moore with the Black Women's Roundtable in Kalamazoo. We are getting ready to do turnout for our election on Tuesday. We want to make sure that every black woman and man that is registered and eligible to vote vote and their vote be counted. Yes. We are doing 2 in 2020 where we are voting and we're being counted. We are making sure that we have the resources to protect our water, to make sure that we have decent and affordable housing, and to protect our vote so we can have civic engagement throughout our state of Michigan.
Yes. Yeah. Michigan, Mississippi, Florida, North Carolina, and Georgia.
Good morning. I am Phaedra Robinson, the Deputy Director for the Mississippi Black Women's Roundtable.
Right.
So this morning we're here for a number of reasons. You heard them talk about the prison crisis. The reason it touches us is because 70% of those women that secure those prisons, 70% of the people that secure the prisons are women in Mississippi. So this goes back to equal pay, because they're being paid very low wages. The paid leave does not work for them. Our convener, Cassandra Welchland, is back in Mississippi right now fighting for paid leave. We're the only state right now that exists without it, and we are here today to make sure they hear our voices on voter suppression, on paid leave, and making sure that we're getting better opportunities for black women in our country.
Okay. Thank you, Mississippi. Mississippi.
That was Mississippi.
I know. Georgia. North Carolina, Florida. Where's Florida? Florida. Let's do Florida first, because I know I had said them earlier. Florida, anybody in Florida, come on up. I think I saw Muriel. Yeah, come on, Florida. What you here for, Florida?
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Beverly Rutherford. I'm standing in for Solandra Benton. I believe Florida has the largest group here this year, like we always do. And basically, Florida this year, our main concern is Amendment 2, which is getting $15 improved minimum wages, and also voter reform. We have passed Amendment 4, and we want to make sure that our people votes count. And so we're going door to door, making sure that all the returning citizens that is impacted by Amendment 4, their voices are heard. Okay, so Florida's in the House, and we have a lot of work to do, and we're going to continue to support our phenomenal leader. She is from Florida as well, but we're going to make sure that Florida continue to make a difference. And this year we know that we're not going to be a swing state. We're going to be the state.
Period. Drops mic, but it's still up.
North Carolina still here? North Carolina still here? They may have went to their visit. So North Carolina, all right. And Georgia's last? Okay, Georgia. And then we're done.
I'm Felicia Davis, switching hats. So I'm the convener for the Clayton County, Georgia Black Women's Roundtable, the largest delegation of black elected women at the county level and above in the nation. 50% or more of our school board, our county commission, our state legislator, and our state senators, all black women. So we are very proud to represent the Black Women's Roundtable from Clayton County. We have a lot of work to do, and Georgia is here to do it. Helen Butler. Oh.
And then we got more Georgia stand-up folks.
Georgia stand-up is right behind me, so I'm going to stand down.
Georgia stand-up. And all of the Black You Vote leaders like Florida, they all come stand up, Black You Vote.
Stand up.
Stand up.
We're going to stand up. You know, we are here, Georgia, stand up. We work, and we are out here trying to make sure we get people to vote, but not only voting, and make sure your vote counts, but to also make sure that your body counts. You need to fill out the census. And one thing, working with Black Youth Votes and BYV, we have power.
That's right.
Especially being millennials. You know, we have the power that if we all, the ones that are eligible to vote, go out and vote, we're able to swing these states from what we're seeing. So if we take our power and use our power like we're supposed to do, we're going to see some changes this year, because we need to see those changes. And then what they're doing to our felons, not giving them the information to know that when you are off paper, you are eligible to vote. So give them a voter registration card. When they're turning 18, give them a voter registration card. Let them know that they are eligible to vote. We have all of these. You want to count bodies in the census for rural areas. Why can't their vote matter? Why can't they count? So that's what we're here advocating for. Are you going to advocate for the same thing?
Yeah.
We're going to stand up?
Yeah.
Stand up?
Stand up.
All right now.
All right. And you too. Close us out. Okay?
Good morning. Not only will we show out, but we will make sure that we educate our community on the importance of our issues and the policies that's going on in the government. We being youth, a lot of us don't know how to listen to adults, but they'll listen to people of our age. So we will be representing and making sure that our friends are not only going out to vote, but are educated on what's going on as well. So Florida, stand up. Stand up.
You just dropped the mic again, but it's still up. Ladies, close us out.
So we're here from the National Office of Black Youth Vote. Sorry. And so right now we're focusing on the census and making sure that every student around the country knows that they need to be counted, whether it's at home or on their campus. And right now we want all young people to know that that regardless of if their parents count them or not, then they need to be counted, period. So make sure they go to their president of their the universities and schools and stuff like that, and make sure that they know that they need to be counted, and make sure that the Census Bureau is on their campus.
I also want to say just thank you to everybody that came today. We have a lot of hard work to do. We're going to these offices to really advocate for ourselves, for our families, and for our communities. And our black youth are empowered, our women are empowered, and we all together will empower our men in our communities. And so I want to thank everyone. We're about to get into some good work. So let's have fun and let's do the work.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I knew it probably was going to fall.
Okay.
You good?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you. Great turnout.
Thank you.
Great turnout.
And so you know we do. We know.
Carol,
Thank you.
we're going to Rayburn and wait, and we can talk about it then. Sheila, you rock, girl. What time is the Carol? We're gonna go eat lunch. Get our box lunches at 12. Okay, what time? 10:30, 11 o'clock. We're gonna go down to Rayburn and just get us something to drink and sit in there and go over the agenda. So sit with all the girls. What girls?
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
What time are y'all going in
I'm going to try to see.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
So you can share.
I know where you'll be in the cafeteria at Rayburn?
Yeah, we're gonna be. They said downstairs. I guess that's where.
Yeah, that's the cafeteria. It's like the first floor. It's not. You don't have to go. If you go in